Welcome to another tier list ranking video. It's been a while, but season 5 has now been out for over a week. We're gonna rank every single character a part of volume 1. Let me know if there's any names I should have added to this list. I tried to add pretty much all the main ones I could think of, even the side characters. You guys can probably see some of them down here. Even Mr. Clark is down here. He had his awesome appearance after basically season 3, so it's been like 6 years since we've seen him on our screen. But I want to jump right into this because there's a lot of characters to get into, so this could be a longer video. We'll see what happens, but you guys know the drill. S tier means like you were like elite. A, you're a good character. B, like maybe I just have more expectations from you, but you're still good, but like I almost expect more from you. C is like kind of the below average, and D is just like, I guess I don't care about you, I don't like you. You know, we'll get to the gist of it. So starting off with Erica Sinclair, she had a big role when it came to the turbo trap. You know, she basically knocked out an entire family. And I mean, Tina's never gonna speak to her again. Mike's wasn't wrong about that. I'm gonna put Erica in A tier. I'm not gonna go S because she actually doesn't appear until the turbo trap. So we take a little bit of a while to see Erica for the first time this season, but she was there. But just because of how insane that was, like how she drugged the family and how that was pulled off, like that's an A tier right there for Erica. If it wasn't for that, I might put her in B, as in like, you know, okay, good. Erica though is gonna go into A tier. I liked her role. Hopefully she has more stuff to do in volume 2 and then leading up to the finale, of course. Next we have Dr. K. Pretty much the main government figure for season 5. Almost kind of took over as like the main government figure from Sullivan, who is still in this season. So Dr. K, I'm gonna go with another A tier for Dr. K. I feel like Dr. K, I'm gonna put low A. The only reason why I'm hesitant is because we still don't really know much about Dr. K. Maybe there's some sort of identity reveal that's gonna happen down the line with Dr. K. We've only seen her for season 5 so far, so she's a newly introduced character. I think we're gonna see more of her and she'll be a better antagonist, but I feel like she's just trying to be like another Brenner, right? And that's kind of high standards because Brenner was an amazing antagonist. Dr. K kind of just feels like another governmental figure. I think she's a better lead figure than Sullivan was. I don't think Sullivan's that interesting to be a lead, but Dr. K is pretty interesting. And we have Dr. K at A tier. I'm going to put her below Erica though, because like I said, I think we'll see better of her in terms of an antagonist, but not yet. Next we have Delightful Derek. It is not dipshit Derek. He got promoted to Delightful Derek. Bro had the quickest character development I've ever seen in my entire life. Listen, I don't want to like play the jokes like, oh my god, he's S tier, he's goated. Like, he's goated, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna put him in A tier. I'm trying to save S tier for very specific characters. But you'll still go in A tier. Like, he was a great addition to the cast. Jay Connolly pulled it off, you know, props to that kid. So Derek is gonna go in A tier. I'm not gonna take it too serious as much as I want to, but you know what? I still will put him like before Dr. K though. Like I said, the thing with Dr. K is I think we're gonna see more of her, and I'm kind of waiting for that. But Derek though was such a good addition to the cast. He was like very comedic, and he just brought some new sense of life. He kind of brought like some sort of cool buzz to a what is a very, you know, this is the final battle kind of season. We're in the apocalypse basically. Depression, the Great Depression's in the air, all that stuff. So yeah, Derek was a great character. Can't wait to see him in volume 2 when, even though he got taken, but you know, he probably will have some scenes with Holly and Max. I mean, I don't even know how Max is gonna handle Delightful Derek. Lucas Sinclair, probably the biggest main character we've gotten so far in this tier list. Lucas is a solid A, and I'm not gonna go with S because, like I said, I mean it when I say I'm keeping S for just like some exclusive characters. But Lucas was incredible this season. A, fully deserved. He will be very high on A too. I loved his role. I love how you can still just kind of see how determined he is to, I guess, to put an end to Vecna. Obviously, he's grieving Max, not to the same extent as Dustin is for Eddie, because Max is still out there, so it's a little different, but I kind of like how it's handled. So Lucas is going to go into A tier here. I really can't wait to see more of him in Volume 2. We know that we still haven't seen that shot of him holding Max in the hospital. That's going to be a frightening scene to look forward to. But yeah, Lucas is probably one of the most, like, I guess, sane characters of the whole show. I don't think he ever has dips. He just is always a peak character to me. Like, he's one of the most consistent characters of the whole franchise, in my opinion. I guess I should say the show. I know I'm talking like it's movies, even though some of the episodes are movie length. Next, we have Karen Wheeler. Obviously, doesn't do anything after she got absolutely demolished by a Demogorgon, but I will give her so many props because how she defended her daughter, that was badass. That was probably one of Karen's most badass moments in the entire show, bar none. Really hope she makes it through that. That was devastating to see. And just for that alone, the whole sequence with the Demogorgon and how she basically defended her daughter, she, you know, fought to the death, quite almost literally. I'm gonna put her high in A tier as well. I'm gonna put her below Dr. K, and it's not even her fault. Like I said, she's just kind of out of commission after episode 2, but that moment alone for Karen was incredible. So Karen is probably an A tier just for that scene at the cold, like basically the cold open of episode 2. It was awesome. Next we have Jim Hopper. Honestly, guys, I am gonna put Hopper, this might be my biggest hot take. I'm gonna put Hopper in B tier, which is still good, but that's just how I feel. He's just good and nothing more than that. I do think he can hold off a little bit on, like, you know, being, I know he's protective of Elle, but I feel like he should, like, trust her a little bit more, be a little more lenient with how he says things to Elle. Like, he's still awesome. I hate how he's death baiting us, by the way. Like, screw him for death baiting us so many times at this point. But I'm gonna put Hopper at a solid B. I just think there's other characters that shun a little more, if that's the word that I'm looking for. But I can't wait to see him in Volume 2. I think he's gonna get a little better then. I just think it's also kind of circumstance and the plot that he was in. I love that him and Elle finally have moments to be a duo. That father-daughter duo was, like, well overdue, honestly, because we didn't get much of them in season 3 or 4. Next, we have Vecna himself. This is also going to count him as the persona of Henry, aka Mr. What's-It, but the human form, so consider it as both. So on that front, you know, I actually love the depth they're given to Henry. I love the lore that we're going to get into in Volume 2. I love the mystery. There's some new mystery with him, and because of the whole Mr. What's-It persona, which is so interesting to me, it's such a cool way to give him a new interesting lease of lore that we're going to bring into the show. Vecna's really delivered in terms of an antagonist so far. I can't wait to see what else is revealed about him. That's going to be so interesting. So Vecna's going to go up in S tier, in my opinion. Next, we have Robin Buckley. Now, Robin, I will be honest, she might have shocked me. Not to pun the Shock Jock episode we know is coming. That might, you know, be related to Robin. But she shocked me more than any character this season. I knew I was going to like her, right? I did not think I would like her as much as I do. She absolutely stole the show. Her dynamic with Will is by far the best thing about this season, in my opinion. And that's saying a lot, because I love a lot of things about this season. But Will and Robin's dynamic, with Robin especially, kind of at the forefront of that, was incredible. Robin was elite. This is an S tier. Right now, she's on an S tier level season, in my opinion. She's so good. I love how her monologue and speech to Will was so powerful that you have to hear it again when you're seeing the flashbacks of young Will and his whole childhood memories. That's so impactful. Robin was so awesome. I kind of like how they let her be her own character outside of her relationship with Steve and Robin. They kind of expanded her character repertoire in terms of who she interacted with, which was awesome. And speaking of Will and Robin dynamic, here we have Will right here. Will has to be another S tier character, and Will's going at the top of S tier. They resurrected Will so good this season, and I'm not talking about the fact that he has powers. Like, that's cool and all, but even before that, like, I just think it's finally, we're focusing on Will. I've been wanting them to focus on Will for ages, and it feels so good because we started with Will, it's ending with Will, we've come full circle, so Will is going right at the top of S tier as he deserves to be. That is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see Will more this season. He is, spoiler alert guys, he's my favorite character from season 5, bar none. Will Byers, welcome to the top of my character list. fully deserved. Fully deserved. Will Byers is so awesome. I'm so glad they finally gave him the role he deserves. Next, we have Holly Wheeler. Obviously, this is the first season that she has a role. Other than this, she's kind of been like a background character, of course. But Holly as well, I almost want to put S tier, and I'm putting this strictly just down to almost Nell Fisher's acting performance. She is incredible as Holly Wheeler. And I love how they immediately, even though you know her, but you don't really know her, they give her a lot of moments in episode 1, so you really start to connect with Holly, you start to sympathize with her, you want to follow her along on her journey when she eventually meets a certain someone who we're going to get into later. But Holly is another S tier character in this season, in my opinion. I love it. Holly almost is like, I love how Holly's able to almost carry her own storyline with very like few characters around her, and that's when you know that a character is good, like really good. So yeah, Holly is amazing. I can't wait to see her in volume 2. I think she deserves an S tier, and like I said, maybe a part of it has to do with how good Nell portrays Holly, but it is incredible. Next we have Lieutenant Ackers, pretty much the guy that Hopper interrogated. He's like an okay antagonist. I don't think he's anything too crazy. Fun fact, he does do young Brenner in the stage play, The First Shadow, which is kind of cool. It's a cool connection there. But yeah, I'm going to put him in the B tier, same as Hopper, but below Hopper. I probably just think that, you know, yeah, he's whatever. Maybe he does more, but he mostly was just kind of there for the interrogation purposes. And like, he's good. I just don't think he's much more than that, in my opinion. Next, we have Jonathan Byers. Guys, I am going to stand on business. Jonathan, I like Jonathan, right? I do think that he's thinking about Steve a little too much this season. Like, he's letting Steve get in the way of his relationship with Nancy in terms of like, he's a little insecure. That's not saying that he's not there for Nancy. He cares about Nancy. He's there for Nancy. And I love that he actually understands Nancy. That's why I love Jonathan so much as a character. And I think he's insanely disrespected and he's insanely mischaracterized by a lot of the just general audience out there. I'm standing on business with this one. Jonathan's going an A tier for me. And yes, the competition with Steve is very stupid. I don't like that Jonathan is like almost entertaining it. That's my biggest flaw with Jonathan this season, is like he's entertaining like this macho competition, as he says, for Nancy's attention with Steve, when like, you know, I just think he does need to focus on him and Nancy. And I'm not saying he doesn't. He focuses on him and Nancy. He cares about her. He knows what she wants. I really appreciate him for that. However, I just think in terms of how he's focusing on Steve as this competition to him, just needs to like Steve needs to move on and all, but like, I don't think Jonathan necessarily needs to be paying attention to him. I like that Jonathan told him off in the van about like, you know, getting the flowers and like how he thinks that Steve's like pushing boundaries. He has every right to say that, in my opinion. I'm only gonna say though, my biggest flaw with Jonathan this season, it really has nothing to do with him and Nancy. It's just, I just think that he needs to like let Steve like keep hitting a brick wall and stop paying attention to him. But I do like that he told him off, but like, that's it, you know, leave it at that. And I think we have a little bit. We're gonna get more Jonathan in volume 2. I really am looking forward to that scene of him and Nancy in the Upside Down. That's gonna do a lot of good, in my opinion. So I expect Jonathan to get better throughout the season, but I don't even think he's bad. I actually really like Jonathan this season, just bar him entertaining Steve's competition, if you will, whatever, all that stupid stuff. But yeah, he's gonna go in A tier for me. I'm gonna put him, because I also just want to give Jonathan just respect, right? He, like I said, he's very mischaracterized, so I'm standing on business with this one. I'm putting him right behind Lucas, so he's gonna go in A tier. I'm sorry. Jonathan does not deserve all the slack that he gets in general, but especially this season. People just don't understand him, and they don't understand that he understands Nancy and he loves her and cares about her. The Ring, we'll see what happens with that in volume 2. I'm not judging that right now, but clearly it's a setup. But we're setting that up for volume 2. This is strictly volume 1. I'm putting Jonathan in A tier. You know, debate if you want in the comments, but I think Jonathan's insanely mischaracterized and disrespected. And Jonathan's been good this season. He's been really good if you actually care to understand his character. Next we have Joyce Byers. She's very protective of Will, obviously. She's a little anti-Robin. I don't necessarily blame her, because Robin did take Will without her notice and didn't tell her. I do think that, you know, she definitely gets better. She's a little protective of Will. I don't want to put that as a flaw against her. I'm going to put Joyce in A tier because, you know, she means well, but I'm going to put her like near the end of A tier. I'm almost going to like, what do I want to do? I want to like, you know, I do like how she eventually learns to put trust in Will. I'm actually going to put her above Jonathan, but behind Lucas. I kind of like this ranking that I'm going with right now. So Joyce has been really good this season. I'm glad that Vecna didn't kill her, just kind of toss her off to the side. That was a cool moment there. So yeah, Joyce is awesome this season. I slightly prefer her over Hopper if we're going to compare the two adults of the show. But yeah, I can't wait to see what more Joyce has to offer in Volume 2. Kind of hope that, you know, like her and Robin can like start being buddy now, because yeah, I feel like she's almost similar to Nancy, or like Nancy doesn't really know how she felt about Robin at first, but she kind of warmed up to her. I think Joyce will eventually warm up to Robin. Next we have Murray. Bro, Murray is so... Okay, obviously I'm not gonna put him in S tier, but like I will put him pretty high up. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'll put him in like... Do I put him up? I'm gonna put him above Erica too, but behind Jonathan. Yeah, I'm gonna put him there. Murray's another A tier character this season. I like the use of him. He's not too big, but he's important enough, you know. I basically call him Santa Murray this season. He's been awesome. Love like Murray just having the alias name of Austin and carrying the Bradley's Big Buy truck, giving the gang the supplies they need to do whatever they're trying to do in the episode. So Murray's been really good this season. I'm not a huge fan of how we didn't see his condition after the truck flipped over. I hope he's still alive. I mean, I assume that if he died, like they would have shown that. So I don't think he's dead. Just kind of wish we saw his condition. He probably just got stuck on the truck or something like that. Next, we have Nancy Wheeler. I think Nancy's honestly kind of going under the radar this season in terms of how good of a character she's been. She's another one where I'm gonna stand on business on this. Like, she is an S tier character this season. I love Nancy. This is an incredible season for Nancy, in my opinion. I love the acting from Natalia. I mean, she is putting in one of the best performances of the season, in my opinion. Not the best, but up there for sure. And just her reaction to her mom and like the whole sequence, the hospital stuff. I love the stuff that she gets with Mike, of course. That was incredible. There's just so many cool details here. And like, I love how Nancy's like just not taking any bullshit from anyone. You know, she is standing on business. She's determined. She's focused. She's locked in. I really appreciate that. That's why I really love Nancy as a character. But I think she's really, really standing out this season. Next, we have 11. I mean, 11's been fine this season. I'm going to put her in A tier. I'm actually not going to put her in S tier. And I don't even really think it's her fault. Again, it's just kind of the plot that she's involved in. We haven't seen too much of her. I feel like she's still important, but she kind of took a little bit of a sidestep. I think she's going to come more into a focus in Volume 2, but mainly her goal in Volume 1 was to be with Hopper in the Upside Down and try and track Henry while they're down there. But I'm going to put Elle probably like... I like how independent Elle has started to become too, like, and the use of her powers so far is so cool. You can tell how, you know, boosted up she is. I'm gonna put Elle, I'm actually gonna put her right here. Actually, do I put her above Lucas? That's a tough one, honestly. That's really tough, but I'm gonna put her behind Lucas, but in front of Joyce. I mean, I think Elle's just been really cool this season and really, really good. Can't wait to see more of her in Volume 2, now that we know that a certain someone else is back in the picture since Season 2. Next, we have Mike Wheeler. Mike Wheeler, welcome back to actually being Mike Wheeler. He is my favorite character in the entire show. I'm so glad that this season, they actually resurrected his character. They brought him back to the Mike Wheeler from Season 1. He's an immediate S tier. I'm actually going to put him like right next to Robin. You know what? I'm actually going to put him right next to Will. I'm standing on business with this too. I love Mike this season. Unfortunately, I'm not going to put him at the top. That's Will. But Mike this season is absolutely incredible. He's a top 3 character this season, in my opinion. His moment with Holly is so cool. Such a big brother moment. Going back to his leadership ways, being like the heart of the party. It's there. Everything's there, and it's so awesome. Welcome back, Mike Wheeler, and I can't wait to see more of you in Volume 2. And every single person that said that Mike was this horrible character that was apparently never going to get redeemed according to you, you are silent after Volume 1. I know you are. Next, we have Dustin Henderson. Obviously, Grieving Eddie. I got a little frustrated with him, not for grieving, but for kind of provoking, I guess is the word, Andy and his jocks by putting the snake in the locker. I feel bad that he got beat up, but I'm just also frustrated with Dustin because, like, he's just provoking them to do this stuff. Like, you don't have to do that. Just back off, you know what I mean? So I don't even blame him, but, like, I like the portrayal. Not betrayal, the portrayal, right? The portrayal of Dustin grieving Eddie. It's realistic. I love that we're seeing this deeper side to him. But however, in Volume 1, I will admit that, like, just because of that, they don't really give him, like, a lot of moments to shine. And that's totally okay. I'm totally cool with that. But I think Dustin has been one of those, like, okay characters. I love the portrayal of Dustin. It's just some of the things that he's doing was kind of frustrating. Like I said, the snake in the locker. You don't have to be provoking them, you know? Or, like, even the argument with Steve, I kind of see both sides, but I also just don't like how he's straight up lying to his friends about getting beat up, and then he's like, he's not taking accountability for, like, missing the crawl when he missed the crawl because he got his ass beat, because he provoked them, you know what I mean? So it's like this knock-on effect. So I know Dustin's gonna get better, and I have no problem with his grieving. I don't even blame, like, just Dustin for grieving. Like, I understand that, but unfortunately, because of that, just kind of took himself out of the light a little bit. So he's going to go into B tier. Next we have, what is this guy's name? Sergeant Ramirez, who might have had the most gruesome death in this entire show. I actually really appreciate how he looked like one of the only military, like, figures this season that actually looked like he had a little bit of care to, like, oh, he's like, oh, doing this with the kids is a little reckless, you know, but we're supposed to protect them, but it could be reckless. Like, it looks like he had some sense of moral compass, and I appreciate that. So because of that, you know, he's a goner. We're not going to see him in Volume 2. He got brutally murdered by Vecna, unfortunately. But I'm actually going to put Sergeant Ramirez out of Dr. K because I do think he had a little bit of moral compass to him. And, like, that was kind of cool to see. Next, we have Mr. Clark. He only had the one scene, but, man, he stole that one scene in my heart. Mr. Clark, I am going to put, I will put him in B tier just because, like, we've literally only saw him in one scene. You know, I have to be fair. But just seeing him back was awesome. Like, that was pretty awesome. I don't know. Lieutenant Ackers had, like, a role, and I liked Lieutenant Ackers, so I'll put Mr. Clark at B tier. As you can tell, I don't even, like, hate many characters this season, but, like, yeah, like, it's whatever to me. Mr. Clark, I hope we see him again. I don't think we will, but even if we don't, it's so cool how we got that one scene to come back in Season 5. That was so cool to finally see Mr. Clark again. Welcome back, Mr. Clark. We missed you. Please do not go. Please don't die, as far as I'm concerned. Next, we have Callie. Guys, she had like one scene in the whole volume. This isn't shade that she's back or she's returned now. I just don't know where it's taken me to, and that's totally fine. I actually have some belief that, you know, they'll give her a good role and, like, obviously make her return worthwhile, but for now, I don't hate it, but I'm neutral. I feel like C is almost kind of like that neutral category. Like, I'm just cool. Like, you know, Callie's back, but we don't have much else to go off with her. So that's all this is based off of. So Callie's gonna go into C tier. I don't really know what much else to say. We just have to wait for Volume 2. This is strictly just talking about Volume 1. She had one scene where she didn't speak. It was just to, like, give the revelation that she's here since Season 2 for the first time. So, yeah, that's just Callie for you. I have faith, but like I said, I can't really go off much. Next, we have Max Mayfield. I just realized how many characters I put in, like, A tier right now. I'm gonna put Max, I want to say... I love the role that she has, the explanations and stuff. Her moments with Holly is really cool. They're starting to become a cool duo that might expand in Volume 2. But yeah, we don't see much of Max. I'm gonna put her in, like... At the end of the day, like, it's cool to see Max. She is lore dumping and she has to, I understand that. But I'm gonna put her behind Delightful Derek. And it's only because we haven't seen much of her yet. She's gonna have a bigger role in Volume 2. So... I'm trying to be as level-headed as I can with this list. So yeah, I'm gonna put Max in A tier. I think that's fair, just because we haven't seen much of her. But even though, like, the little that we have of Max so far, like, the fact that she's in A tier with the little that we have, that's impressive. You know, but it is Max at the end of the day. Next, we have Steve Harrington. I don't know, I might... I'll be honest, guys. I'm gonna put Steve in, like... It's so weird. I want to put him in B tier. I'm going to give an explanation, trust me. I'll put him in like... I understand, Dustin. Please do not come for me for this, guys, but Steve is going to go in B tier. Listen, I love Steve as a character. I love Steve when he's not involved with this stupid love triangle with Nancy and Jonathan. And this season, I don't like how we're still on this stupid love triangle, all right? As far as I'm concerned, I don't even care if they all end up single. But like the love triangle is like so stupid at this point. It doesn't have to last for this long. It shouldn't have to last for this long. But like I said, B tier is still good. This is just for Steve's standards, if anything. I love Steve, but for Steve's standards, I think he's just could be better this season, in my opinion. Like, hopefully Volume 2, he goes back to more of those just moments where he's, you know, like, let's just get Nancy out the mind. Let's get the love triangle out the mind. And like, yeah, I just think Steve could be a little better this season. I think the best part about Steve, of course, is like the whole, you know, driving the car through the upside down and like, you know, being Robin's like, I guess, partner, and they're always employed together. That's always really funny. And Steve has his moments this season, don't get me wrong. And I just kind of like, I'm kind of viewing this from like a standard of Steve. Yeah, Steve's like okay. He's okay to me. You know, I like him. He's good. B tier is like solid, is all I can ask for Steve right now, in terms of what I saw. But I love Steve. Do not get it mixed, all right? B is still a great tier. Just how I feel with Steve. It's just kind of his standards. I almost expect more from Steve, in my opinion. Next we have Sullivan, kind of just a whatever character still to me. I'm putting him in C tier. Like, he's just like there in season 4. I don't think he has that presence to him. I feel like Dr. K has more of that presence to her than Sullivan is. Sullivan is always just kind of there. I don't even know if he's still alive. He looked like he got completely flamed out in the Max Z battle showdown. So we'll see. Next we have Ted. He was a little okay, outside the jokes of like, you know, the goat Ted, lazy boy, blah, 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 blah. Like, don't get me wrong, I like all that stuff. But yeah, Ted is just, I will give him C still for the benefit of the doubt that he did go out trying to fight for his family. I'm not saying he's dead, but he could be. We saw bare organs. He's in a coma. We still don't know if he's going to make it out of that okay. But yeah, I'm going to put Ted at the, I mean, I'm still going to put her above Callie because we still have more of him, but yeah, he gave a fighting chance. He gave a fighting chance, and I can commend that for Ted. At least he tried, you know? At least he tried to fight the Demogorgon. Next, we have Andy. Simple answer. Like, one of the worst characters in the show. Like, honestly, I think he deserves the hate that Jason gets, as far as I'm concerned. I think he's worse than Jason by far. Don't even get me started on what he did in Season 4. But yeah, Season 5, he's just still being an asshole. You know, it's just a typical high school bully and all that stuff. But yeah. And is going in D tier. I just don't really think I need to give much explanation for that. Like, you guys just kind of understand it. Next, we have Vicky. Obviously, Robin's girlfriend. I feel bad. She was probably at Enzo's. And we never saw that, but she was probably at Enzo's. So, long story short, no character in the show is ever going to get dated at Enzo's because nothing ever goes well. It never happens. But Vicky, I mean, yeah, she's a fine character to me still. We don't have much of her, but I'll probably put her in, like, B tier as well. Like, do I want to put her in front of Mr. Clark, though? This is more preference. I prefer Mr. Clark as a character to Vicky. We don't have much of Vicky. Hopefully we see more of her in Volume 2, potentially. But, yeah, she's just kind of there. She's good. Like, I like her. She's pretty good this season. We'll see. We will see what happens with Vicky. See, next we have what I'm going to classify as Tina. I don't know why I said I'm going to. Everyone's going to classify her as Tina. But yeah, the final one on this list is Tina Turnbow, the older brother of Derek, and the Tina that we have heard mentioned in Season 3 and 4. And after all of this time, we saw her, which is so funny to me. Yeah, she's another, like, kind of just B-tier character, of course, but I am going to have to, like, kind of put her at the back end. But she had, like, the funny moments with Erica and stuff. She's, like, okay. I'm going to put her in, like, the end of B because we still don't know much about her, you know? It's just whatever with Tina. But I also really like the... Oh my god, the whole scene with Erica was so funny. That whole dinner table scene was incredible. That was awesome. So yeah, Tina Turbo's gonna wrap up this entire tier list at the end of the day. That is my full tier list for every character in Volume 1. I will update this when we do Volume 2, so then it can be Volume 1 plus Volume 2, and then on the finale, we'll do the entire season. So let me know what you all think down below. Let me know any changes. I'm probably put some controversial things on here, but like I said, I say S, A, and B are all good tiers. Like, I liked you. And then C and D is just like average, and then like D, I just don't really care about you. Sorry, Andy, not really sorry. But I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.